Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. As always, thank you for joining me. If you could, hit the subscribe button down below and hit that little bell out beside, or YouTube will not put this video in your inbox. So please do that. That way you don't miss anything from the Big Ranch Show. Now let's get right to it. Over the holiday weekend back on Thursday, on Thanksgiving Day, Texas State Trooper Damon Allen was gunned down by a man at a traffic stop. Now, unfortunately, the story goes a lot deeper than that, but it goes to show you too that that there are some terrible people, some terrible things that happen to people, and some terrible things that people do. On Thanksgiving, Deputy Damon Allen stopped Darbit Black. It has been reported recently by news here in the East Texas area that Darbit Black became very violent back in 2015 against a deputy in Tyler, Texas, where he beat him to the point that his eye he needed stitches, and he said the beating lasted around 2 minutes, and he needed 6 stitches to close the wounds on above both his eyes. So, the officer there showed a lot of restraint not to shoot him, because at that point when you got gashes over your eyes, your life could be in danger, there, because you can't see what's going on when the blood's in your face. But this goes a lot deeper than that happening, and the fact that Damon Allen was shot in the back by this terrible, to me, is a terrible person. Now, somehow or another, he wasn't given jail time for this assault. Apparently, they cut a plea deal, dropping some of the most serious charges, and he didn't serve much time in Smith County, of all places in Texas. And Smith County is one of the most strict counties in the state of Texas, what seems like, when it comes to handing down punishments to people. I've had some friends that have gone through Smith County, and they went in for some smaller things, and they didn't come out for 4 or 5 years. So Smith County isn't some light place to get off easy. So it's surprising that he was able to cut a plea deal. Now, it's also come out that Mr. Black was a former military. Before leaving the military, he had like 2 or 3 tours of duty in Iraq. And apparently, according to his family, he came back just completely screwed up. He left normal and came back a broken man, really. And he wasn't able to get the help he needed from the Veterans, the Veterans Administration. The VA was not helping him. He wasn't able to get the medications clearly he needed. And he wasn't able to get the things he needed to get, and he needed therapy, clearly. But unfortunately, those things weren't given. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if he got the help he needed. At the end of the day, you're ultimately responsible for your own actions. This officer was shot in the back. So I don't really care about the guy's mental state. I don't really care what happened to him in the military. All I care about is that he gunned down a Texas State Trooper by shooting him in the back like a coward. And all the deputy was doing was pulling him over for a speeding violation, if I remember correctly. I feel really bad for Damon Allen's family and his friends, especially right here at the holidays, to lose a family member like this. Just remember, our state troopers, in all our state troopers are out there trying to protect us. They're trying to protect and serve. The bulk of police are good people, just trying to do a hard job to make sure we stay safe. Try to keep criminals out of our house, try to keep them off the streets. And unfortunately, sometimes they draw the gunfire of these criminals. Now, I don't know what else to say about it. I am literally heartbroken at the fact that this man lost his job, or lost his life doing his job. It's just heartbreaking. Now, sure, they're police. They know at any time, that their life could be cut short by some criminal with a gun or a knife or whatever. They leave their homes knowing every single day that it could be their last time to kiss their wife and kids goodbye. So, people, really all I can say is cherish your life. If you would cherish your other lives the way that a lot of people cherish their own, maybe, just maybe, we could cut down on some of this violence. Now, I know on this channel, I've talked a lot about some officers that have done some terrible things. But I want to make it clear that I in no way condone violence against police officers. And I believe that most police officers are good people. Damon Allen, from everything I have read, was a great, upstanding officer. Didn't have a lot of problems, any problems that I have found in his past. Just a good state trooper doing his job. Made a stop on Thanksgiving Day and didn't make it home for Thanksgiving dinner. It's just heartbreaking. So to the family of Damon Allen and his friends, I am heartbroken for you. I'm beyond words. I have nothing I can really say to you except to say I am sorry. I am sorry that this happened to your loved one, to your husband or father or child, friend, co-worker. I am sorry that this happened. Not only am I sorry that it happened, period, and that it happened at the holidays. I am sorry that you were without your loved one for the holidays because of somebody else being a jerk. And I'm sorry, when it comes down to it, if you have beaten an officer, you should not be allowed to buy a gun. You should not be allowed to own a gun. I don't care what your plea deal is. If you have beaten an officer, if you have punched an officer, you should lose your privileges to own a gun. Your right to own a gun should be revoked. Sadly, though, I am really sad to know that Smith County did not hold this guy, that this guy cut a plea deal. I'm really sorry that was allowed to happen. I'm sorry that the U.S. military was not able to get this guy all the help he needed and obviously the medications he needed to keep himself from doing crazy shit. But at the end of the day, the only person to blame for the death of Texas State Trooper Damon Allen is Mr. Black. Mr. Black is the only one to blame here. You can't place the blame on the DA for, doing a plea deal. You can't blame the U.S. military because neither one of those people pulled the trigger. Neither one of those groups of people fired a shotgun into the back of a state trooper. Only Mr. Black did that. I hope Mr. Black spends the rest of his life in prison, if not on death row. And that's really all I have to say. Once again, I am sorry. My thoughts and prayers are with the family of Officer Damon Allen and all his co-workers. And if I remember correctly, Governor Abbott here in Texas has ordered all flags at half staff across the state. If not, they should be. And I'm pretty sure he already has. I believe I saw that come across the wire yesterday. Anyhow, y'all have a great day. And I'll see you down the road.